Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a review of A Place for All My Books, a 1 to 4 player competitive and solo game of book collecting. And disclaimer that I got a review copy of this one. A Place for All My Books is, like I said, a competitive or solo game where you are trying to collect books. You are a book lover, a book reader, and how you do that is you take actions on your turn to move where the books are in your rooms, to complete little projects, organizing them in certain ways, which will raise up your social battery, your ability to go into town and deal with other people. Because going into town is how you get more books, so you can complete more projects, get more victory points, and win the game. So let's discuss 5 key things to know about A Place for All My Books. So my number 5 point, the least important to know, but still important or I would not mention it, is focus on the randomness in the game, and this is a mix for my taste. The randomness comes into play in a few ways. In the solo mode, it comes in with the rival cards that are dealt for their actions, the little projects you draw randomly to get victory points by completing them and also earn other bonuses. And then even these items you can buy from the shop are sometimes randomized. But the biggest one is really the projects, because sometimes you'll get projects that are already completed on your board or close to already completed, so it's kind of like free victory points without any effort. And other times you'll get stuff that doesn't go with your board very much at all, and you got to put a lot of effort in to get around to it. And similarly, sometimes the solo bot will bring out a lot of cards that are all the same color, and you can clear them very easily, or they might all be different colors and it's very hard to get rid of them. None of this is a huge deal. It tends to balance out across the game, but it's just something to be aware of that sometimes you might get a little lucky or unlucky and it could affect your victory in the game. My number 4 point is a full pro though, and that is the solo mode in the game. How it works is you're playing against Penelope Everready. After each of your turns, she'll flip up a single card, and based on the number of cards in her little growing line, she'll take more and more powerful actions, but they take seconds to resolve. Very straightforward solo mode. But what's awesome and makes this an excellent solo mode that has a lot more tactical thought to it, even more than the multiplayer game, is that you can affect this row of cards of hers, because these colors at the top of each card correspond to the certain little projects you can complete. And when you complete one, for example, this red one here, you get to clear all the cards of a matching color, which weakens her actions, pushes her back again, but then she'll keep on building up. So there's an excellent interplay in a very straightforward way between what she is doing on her turns and you and the goals you're trying to complete yourself. Awesome solo mode overall. My number 3 point, also a full pro, are the town actions you can take. So as I said, you're building up your social battery by messing around with your home. We'll get to that in a second. But once it's high enough, you can go to town and you can get a whole bunch of books from the bookstore. You can get books of specific colors from the library. You can buy those items for good combos from the shops. And this is also the only place that the very light worker placement aspect of the game, because your meeple just have to be moving from place to place, can bring about some interaction between players or even with the solo bot, because you can bump somebody to the park, but doing that actually gives them a bonus and lets them stay in town longer. So it gives the game a little ebb and flow structure that works really well. My number 2 point, also a full pro, are the projects and accomplishments you're trying to complete to get your main victory points in the game and to build up your social battery. And they are just highly varied. Each game you're going to have different sorts of things to go for, different ways you want to arrange your room to complete them. And then you have the major accomplishments that you're racing for in the multiplayer game, trying to be the first or second to complete for big rewards. Those are also highly varied and really change up the feel of what you're doing in the game. Although, don't get me wrong, you're always just trying to get as many books as you can, but which books do you get and where do you put them? That's what all of these give tons of variety to, and they keep the game fresh and exciting and tactically interesting. But of course, the other side of the coin, the way that you complete these projects, is by managing your books and all these actions in your rooms. This is also a pro, my number 1 most important thing to know about the game, because at first it seems pretty straightforward. You can take a sorting action to pick up a stack of books and just spread them out around, or a gather action to pick up the top books of many different areas and stack them into a super stack. But then you got to get more projects, and you're trying to complete those projects, so you have to get your books just the right way. And of course, you want to be completing more than one project at a time, because you don't complete these for free. You have to actually take the admire action. So if you can do 2 or 3 projects in a single admire action, you're getting way more utility and way more efficiency, and then you can go to town. So it's a great little tactical pattern puzzle. Y'all know I like things like this in games such as Bullet, and it works great here as the primary sort of thought process and actions you'll be going through to keep things exciting and interesting. So overall, you might like A Place for All My Books if you like pattern games, if you like kind of action tactical placement puzzles. This one's got that in spades. Or if you want a game with a really great solo system, I love what this one is doing. It really amps up the core puzzle of the gameplay. But on the other hand, if you don't like pattern games, if you think the luck of the draw draw, sometimes making the game a little easier or harder will bother you, then you might want to avoid this one, although really, so far everyone I've played it with has really had a good time with it. And if you want to see the game in action, my preview play is basically identical to the final game, so you can go watch that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.